Hey y'all. Well, I wanted to show you these sunflowers. I've got 2 vases full and tell you the story of the sunflowers. So, um, wow. So today I drove from near Medina, Texas, where Mary Lou and I have been spending the last few nights with my son and daughter-in-law and little Lillian. And so we got up early and drove here to Wimberley to pick up a couple of Mary Lou's paintings and then drove on to the airport in Austin. And just so thankful, for my friend. We met each other in 1977, y'all. Both of our sophomore year of college in Pasadena, California. And right across the street from the college was a Trader Joe's. And I just want to tell you some of these details of like things that God's worked out today for me. And so I was really sad to, be taking her to the airport. I mean, she's been here a week with me and it's been amazing. But, she's got to get back to her family. And she was at my retreat this weekend and it was awesome. But just yesterday, the last few days, really every day, y'all, I'm really sad. And my life is just different. And yesterday I was crying because I thought like going to visit my son and daughter-in-law and little granddaughter that I would have less pain than I had. And I had so much pain, like so much loneliness, even though they had changed the living room around. We slept in a different bedroom than Wayman and I normally slept in. I was just really sad. And I thought some of my pain would go away by going there. And it's just really deep and hard. And so I'm plowing through that, So today I dropped Mary Lou off at the airport. It was, 11-ish. And I had this thought like, I want to go to Trader Joe's. And there's several in Austin, but I told my Siri to take me to Trader Joe's. And so it was like, 18 minutes away. And so like, I didn't really know what I wanted to get at Trader Joe's except those chocolate covered almonds that have sugar and salt on them, like turbinose sugar. Like they're so good. So I knew I wanted to get that and some fresh flowers, but I didn't know what kind. Anyway, I ended up getting sunflowers, y'all, and some chamomile that is like a chamomile bloom, and then some eucalyptus. So they came in a set of 5. And so even for me to do something new, because Wayman and I didn't go to this Trader Joe's together, we just didn't really go there. But I don't know, for some reason I wanted to go. So it was a parking lot, a parking garage. So you have to go into the parking garage. And it was very new, and it's hard for me to do new things. I'm just being real here, really hard to do new things. And I couldn't find a parking spot. Then I found one, and then I was afraid that I was going to hit my car on the big barriers in the parking garage because it seemed really small, and I'm not the greatest parker at all. So I was just ready even to just drive away and not even go in. But then I'm like, no, I'm already here, so I'm going to park. So I parked. It took me a while back and forth to feel like that I wouldn't hit my car when I drove out of there, backed out, because there was a big barrier there and it's really tight parking. So I went in and I was like, oh yeah, Trader Joe's is just a fun store, y'all. It's not real big, but it has so many great things. So I just walked around. I spent more than an hour in there, and I got nuts and cheese, goat cheese with cherries, and I just was like tootling along, and I got kefir and just things that normally my store here in the H-E-B in Wimberley doesn't have. So I'm checking out, and I take my card up there, and the young man who's checking me out says, "How are you doing today?" Well, I decided to be honest, and I said, not really good. I'm really sad. My husband died a little bit ago, within a month ago or something, I said. And so he's like, oh, do you need a hug? And I said, yes, I do. And so he came around and he hugged me, and it was so sweet. And then he starts checking me out. And he says, tells me about his wife and his little daughter, who's 1. They used to live in California. They're happy to be living in Austin because they could have affordable housing where they actually have bought a home. And then he asked me what kind of dog I have, because had bought glucosamine because Justin now has my two dogs, and they're old and they need some glucosamine. So I thought, well, I'll just put that in the mail to Justin so he can have it for the dogs. And so then I was like, wow. So that made me sad that our dogs are old, and I just gave them to Justin to take care of because they were too much for me right now. So anyway, we chat, and then I'm like, am I supposed to be bagging my own groceries? Like, I don't know. And he's like, listen, I get paid the same hourly wage. You can just stand there and talk to me. So I'm like, okay, because I'm just sort of just struggling, with doing what would be somewhat normal tasks. So I, tell him thank you. And, I told him I love sunflowers because he saw that I'd bought some. And then I go outside and I see that there's the parking meter, and you put your credit card in to pay there. And this is all new to me. I don't really know. And so I heard him ring his bell like immediately when I walked off. I didn't know what that meant. And it meant he was leaving his station. And so then I am standing outside the store, like getting my credit card out to stick it in to pay for my parking. Normally, okay, right, we don't shop at grocery stores that you have to pay for parking. And he comes around the corner, y'all, and he has 2 more bunches of sunflowers. So 10 more sunflowers he brings to me. And he's like, oh, I need to go and validate your parking. You didn't validate it. I'm like, no, I don't know about that. He's like, oh, give me your credit card. Let me run in and do that for you. When you shop here, you get an hour of free parking. So it was so cool, y'all. And then he came back, brought me my credit card. Like, okay, who do you give a credit card to? Your total stranger, right? Well, somebody that's just given you 10 sunflowers. And so I gave him another hug, and I was just like, thank you so much that he would have brought me more flowers and took care of my parking, and because I didn't know how things worked there. And I was just like, God, thank you that a total stranger, is kind. And I was honest when he asked me how I was doing. So I just wanted to say thank you to that cashier at Trader Joe's. And we talked about the college where I went to college in California, in Pasadena. There was a Trader Joe's. He's like, that was the original one. Look on that sack right there. That's the picture of it. And it was just so cool. Like, today was the day I took Mary Lou back to the airport, which was 1977 when I met her. And we used to shop at Trader Joe's together, that same original Trader Joe's there. At least I think it was the original one. So I'm just like blown away by God, and that he would be so kind to me I got 10 more sunflowers. So now I have 2 vases full of sunflowers, plus I put some in my bathroom. And that's just really cool, And so this scripture, y'all, I'm going to read it out of 2 Corinthians 5. And I feel like it's just really like encouraging to me. It says, that's why we're always full of courage. Even when we're at home in the body, we're homesick to be with the Master. For we live by faith, not by what we see with our eyes. And so I know that I'm asking God for more courage every day to be able to go right through the middle of my pain for missing Wayman. It says, yet we live with a joyful confidence, yet at the same time we take delight in the thought of leaving our bodies behind so we can be first like out guy that just sent me so much love. So I've got beautiful sunflowers, and the reason I like sunflowers right now is they last a really long time. Like they should last for 2 weeks for me. And that's really good. Like I like flowers that last right now. So I love y'all, and yeah, yeah, I just jumped on. Bye.